Shalom, Science family. So on this morning, my granddaughter had been asking me to make for her some tea cakes. So we're going to do a variety of two different styles of tea cakes. Your traditional tea cakes, and we're going to make some chocolate tea cakes, all out of the same batter. So I have my my 1 cup of butter, unsalted butter. So here's my butter. It's not quite room temperature, so I'm gonna run it through the microwave to soften it down a little bit. And so I'll list the ingredients in the description, but for now we're just gonna work on our butter, and then we'll come back and mix all of our dry ingredients. I'll be right back. Okay, so into our next bowl, this is 3 cups of all-purpose flour. This is half a cup of nutmeg, which is one of our medicinal medicines, remember? So we're cooking using our homemade meds, okay? Or spices. Oh my, I'll put this together in a minute. And then we're gonna add in half a teaspoon of baking soda to our dry ingredients. And that's really more than half, so I won't put all of that in there. And that's gonna do it. Oh, and I like to add an ingredient that normally goes into donuts. It's called mace. So let me grab that. It's mace, and so you're not gonna even know that it's in there. But trust me when I say it elevates this tea cake just a tad bit. So I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a teaspoon, okay, of mace. And now that I've done that, what I'm gonna do is just sift this into this bowl, just like so. You want to make sure your flour is good and sifted, and your ingredients are very well combined, just like so. And I'll just sift it once. I won't do a double sifter or anything like that. It's not that serious, okay? Just like so. Make sure you get all of your flour, though. You want all of that. All right. And you want half a teaspoon of salt as well. And then we're just going to set this off to the side as we move to the next step, okay? And we'll be back. Okay, to my bowl, I've added to my 1 cup of butter, I've added 1 1/3 cup of sugar. So we're going to just give this a mix to get it combined. You want to cream this, is what I'm saying. Just like so. Now that our sugar and butter has been creamed, we're gonna, and you hear how fluffy it is. So we're gonna now combine in our eggs. You need 2 large eggs. And let's just go ahead and blend this one at a time to get it very well combined. And now we're going to add in our next egg. Where's my towel? Okay. I don't see it. Got it. I don't like the way the egg fell on my hand, so forgive me. to stop in between and scrape down the sides of your bowl. Just like so. Alrighty. Next, we're going to add in our essence, or our extracts. And so we're going to need for almond oil, we're going to need half a teaspoon. If I can find it, here it is. So we're going to need half a teaspoon of almond oil, almond essential, Lord forgive me, almond extract. I have essential oils on my head, so 1/4 of a teaspoon of almond extract. And then I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of lemon extract. Of course, this is our own lemon extract. And the same for our vanilla extract. So with our vanilla extract, what we're going to do is add in actually 1 teaspoon. And again, this is the vanilla extract that I made here in the house. So it's definitely is. You can see some of the vanilla bean in this vanilla extract, and that's fine. So this is our extract that I started last year. So we're just going to combine this. Okay, and now that we have all of our extracts in here, we're just going to combine those into our mixture here. Okay, now that that's combined, we're going to then add in slowly our flour, our dry ingredients into this mixture. And you want to do this a little at a time. And as you see, I go ahead and start mixing it like this so that we don't spin flour all over the kitchen, okay? Of course, starting on low speed. And we're going to do all of this until this is all well incorporated. And once it is, then I'll be back to show you how we're going to split this dough and make half traditional tea cakes and half chocolate tea cakes. Okay, I need to say this because I forgot to mention this recipe calls for self-rising flour. And in my haste, I was putting it together, and when I mixed my dry ingredients, I didn't use self-rising flour. I used all-purpose, but I remedied that by going back in and adding a tablespoon per cup of flour of baking powder. When you add that tablespoon, per cup, it elevates your flour from just all-purpose to self-rising. And so I've already done that. It's been remedied. Now we're just going to go ahead and continue to mix. Okay, as you can see, this dough gets very thick. Even though my blender is on low, it is having a hard time getting through this, but I want to make sure that it's very well combined. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Okay. And I think this is it for me right here. All right, so I'll take my scraper and get the rest of that off of off of those blades. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with, I made a little bit of a mess, with some cocoa powder. Just like so, just regular old cocoa powder, okay? And I'm going to take half this dough, my cookie dough, and add it to my other bowl that I had my dry ingredients in, like that, okay? Just split the dough up, all right? And this dough has to rest in the refrigerator before we move on to the next step. That may not be a perfect science of half, but we're going to say this is half of our tea cake dough. And yeah, I did. I made a mess trying to get that off the blade. Okay. But anyway, so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to add in my cocoa powder to my chocolate ones. And with this is up to you. This is to your liking, to your taste, okay? You may not want chocolate, tea cakes, but my household loved them, okay? So I'm going to add in, this is equivalent to a tablespoon and a half, this scoop here. So that's about a tablespoon and a half. We're going to make that 2 tablespoons, just like so. All right, and then I'm just going to come in here and mix this very well together to turn this dough into our chocolate tea cakes. Simple, easy peasy, nothing fancy needed. Just add an ingredient and move on. Alrighty. And so you just want to work this in here as much as possible and get it very well combined, like so. You can do this with your hand. I'm opting today to use my spoon, my silicone spoon, and this is why I love silicone, because it moves and bends with your product and helps you to get it very well incorporated and combined. So here, well, this would be our chocolate tea cakes. So I'm just going to keep mixing this to get it very well mixed, so that we'll get a good even chocolate texture look all over, okay? Just like so. Very simple recipe with very simple ingredients, okay? Nothing fancy, nothing hard. My grandmother made tea cakes for us often, and so I try and do the same for my babies, okay? And so now I'm just gonna let it sit and rest. I'm gonna put some saran wrap over this and stick it in the refrigerator. But in the meanwhile, for our traditional, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape my blades as much as possible to get as much of my dough off of here as I can. And I may not be able to get, oops, sorry, all of that off, and I'm sure I won't. But anyway, so I'm just going to do the same with this. Instead of adding anything, I'm just going to mix this with my spatula here to ensure that I got all of my ingredients in the bottom of this bowl very well combined and mixed in. Okay? Just like so. Alrighty. So I'm going to come back, and when I come back, these will be wrapped in saran wrap, ready to go into the refrigerator. Okay, so they've been wrapped, like I said. And then, okay, family, as you can see, our dough is chilled, and it's as hard as or as firm as I'm going to let it get. Yeah. So normally you would roll this out on your counter. You would flour the surface, lightly flour it, roll it out on your counter, spread your dough, take your roller. Let's do it. Okay, family. So what I've done is I've added some cocoa powder to my counter and a little to my roller, because these are chocolate cookies, right? So you don't want your cookies to have that floury texture to the top of them. So we just added cocoa powder instead of flour. Okay? And you're just going to roll your cookie dough out like so. I'm going to add just a tad bit more of my cocoa powder to my roller, because it's starting to try and stick a little bit. But that's all we're going to do. And then we're going to just cut out our cookies. So I'm going to grab a cookie cutter and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have these cookie cutters here, which will make round ones all the way down to this very small cookie, or as large as this one. Or we can use this fancy nesting one where it gives you the pretty ridges. So you have a small one, a medium, small medium, or whatever. It's 4 different sizes, okay? So just because we're doing simple cookies, I'm not selling them to anyone. We're going to stick with the basic round. And I'm going to use this is the 3rd size down. That's a little small. Let's go on up to the 2nd size. And just cut them out like so. Just like so. And then, because the dough is so soft, you want to be careful picking them up. And then we'll just lay them here on some parchment paper or wax paper, whatever you choose to call it. Let me get it centered. Okay, like so. And just add your cookie to your cookie sheet. And so I'm going to do that, and once I get them all done, I'll be back. Okay, family, so here are the cookies that will go in the oven first. And we're going to go ahead and stick these in, and once they're coming out, I'll let you know. And so I've rolled out and cut our second batch of tea cakes. These are your traditional tea cake ones, and the chocolate ones are out of the oven. Give me 1 second and I'll show those to you as we put these in the oven. Here are our chocolate tea cakes. And I put too many on this, and so look what happened. But I'll separate them, and they'll be just as good. I'll be back. Here are our finished product of our chocolate tea cakes while we wait on, yeah, it broke. It was connected to another one. We're going to just put that down. But while we wait on the originals to come out, here are the chocolate. And as you can see, family, I have already started eating mine. They're good. Please, and let me know what you think. Okay, and here are our finished tea cakes. Your traditional tea cake and my chocolate tea cake. So, try the recipe. Here is another batch. So, try the recipe and let me know what you think, because we know what she thinks.